computer. Glasses off. All right. So welcome again to our online inspiration. We do these every fortnight and they're always a different theme. So watch out for your consultants to let you know about what's coming up. And also it'll be on our Facebooks and things like that. So tonight we are going to focus on Cookidoo. So we'll be sharing screen and doing lots and lots of tips and tricks about Cookidoo, and I'll be doing a little bit of cooking. But firstly, my name is Lisa, Lisa B. And for those who haven't been at the other ones, I'm a consultant. I've been around for about 15 years now. I live in Darula, so I'm in the southwest. I've been all over the state in roles with Thermomix, and also I've been lucky enough to work in New Zealand in that role. Happily lobbed back in Darula near the beach. So it's great. We do lots of cooking and lots of beaching. And my partner in crime is
Lisa G. And I've been with Thermomix 8 out of the last 10 years. I live in Bibra Lake. Previous to that, I was in Upcross and South Yunderup. So I've kind of done a little bit of a lap of South Perth, south of Perth. And I've got a vegetarian daughter, so I kind of try all sorts of different foods.
oh, and I cook anything and everything, as you will see, and I'm known as Rustic Lisa. Okay, so cooking wise tonight, we're going to do a dish that is a long cook, but as a part of that, I'm going to incorporate, we're going to use the peeler so you can see how that works. So that's a host reward that you might like to consider. We also are going to use the cutter, so you may or may not have seen that, and that is currently a gift with purchase and a host reward. And I'm also going to use high heat, and then I'm going to break the recipe and go to slow cook. So you'll see all those functions along as I slide backwards and forwards on the screen along the way. So we'll get going. The recipe is easy lamb hot pot. I just sort of Google around and I think it came up under cutter and I bookmarked it, and here it is tonight. So the way I'm going to show you is the first little bit is the high heat section. So you should be able to see a little bit on that other screen. Maybe it's because it's lighter. So I've got all the bits here just because we're trying to, do Cookidoo. So I've got garlic, onion, celery, and carrot, and they're just in pieces, and also wedges for the onion. And I am going to dump them in, and 20 grams of oil, a bit more, doesn't matter. So just to show you, garlic, onion, celery, carrot, normal kind of steaming things. And you can see here that it's got the high heat. Place the splash guard on. So I've got my lid as per normal. And I'll quickly go back and show you how to find the recipe detail, etc. as well. So the splash guard goes on top. The reason we put this on just for high heat is that the circle covers where anything would splash out because it's high. So we don't want fat splashing out, but it also has the holes to let out the steam. So it's a really good way. This is because the temperature is going to go up to 160 degrees. So we've got the max, you've got the sizzle there. So I call it a frying pan because this is the sort of stuff you would do in a frying pan. So when I see that, it's frying pan. Maximum, it'll just do its own thing. And it's set for 8 minutes in this recipe. Now you can change that up and down. You can, if you're caramelizing, you can do more or less. So technically what I will do is just turn that and then it will start going. You can't hear it tonight, but the concept is the blades stop cooking, going around, and then they act so that it gets hot and fries, and then they stir it around so that it stops it sticking. So it saves you standing at the stove for 8 minutes. That's the beauty of it. So what I'm going to do is pass this to my lovely assistant, John. And because I've got 2 Thermomixes, you don't need to watch that for 8 minutes. So that's going to cook. So while that's actually happening, I'm going to do the peeler. Make sure I've got the right bowl. Okay, so when you use the peeler, it's a mode, and I'll be going on to that mode. But basically, it tells you what to do. There's instructions on the actual mode itself. But I've got 600 grams of water in there, and then I've got the blade cover peeler. So this just sits on top, and this also acts as a blade cover if you're cooking, say, slow cook with chicken and you don't want it to kind of mush up. Put the blade cover on. Now I've pre-done most of it, but I just want to show you. I'm not going to leave it go the whole time. So I'm going to bookmark my recipe. I'm going to go out, and I'm going to be looking for peeler. Okay, so the peeler mode comes on now. It's preset to 4 minutes, depending on what you're chopping and what type of potato, things like that. You may or may not need that full time. So the rule of thumb is, and it's 800 you can put in at a time. So it's fantastic if you're cooking like a potato baker or something, kind of like what we're doing tonight. So basically the potatoes need to fit through the hole. So this one didn't fit, so I've cut it. And same with this one. And then this one does, pre-tested, of course. And so they fit in there. And so all I do is I tap the peeler. You won't hear it, but it makes a big glob, 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 glob as they go around and around and around. And then they'll peel. So just to show you how that kind of works. Okay, and I don't need those ones. I'm just going to give it about 30 seconds so you can see where it's at. That. Maybe 15. Now today, I did the peeler mode and I've got to put the peeler in. So just for your reference, it chops it up into nice chunks. So I was cooking a pizzaiola where they were supposed to be on the bottom. So I just put them down and they're fine. Just for information. Okay, so that was 15 seconds. And you can see that it's already started peeling. Okay. And these were pretty tough kind of potatoes. So this is them then peeled. So these have had about 4 minutes. There are little bits on there, but I'm okay. So they're all ready to go. So now what I do is I get them out. And what normally happens too, when you've peeled, you'll be surprised. The water's there and you tip it out, but you actually don't waste as much as if you peel by hand. It's quite amazing how little comes out. Okay, so now it doesn't matter that my bowl's dirty because I'm going to use the cutter. And the cutter has its own bowl, so it doesn't matter what's in, even if you've cooked some onions or something and you want to do something for your recipe. So this little gadget fits on top of the blade. Just make sure you take it out at the end. Note that mine is painted gold to remind me, but it can happen. You can get new ones. Okay, and then we've got the bowl. So that just sits straight on. So it's like it basically is a food processor. And then we've got the blade. So slate is slice and grey is grate. So I'm putting it on slice. Yes, right way. And then we've got just the lid. Doesn't matter which way you put it as far as facing. And then the same thing, I'm going to go off into another mode. And now I'm looking for my slicer. This Thermomix is different to the other one. So I've got grating or slicing. So I'm going to be slicing the potatoes. I'm not grating today. You can do thick or thin. For the grate, comes out really thick like normal grated cheese, and then really curly little ones if you wanted to do that. And all I'm going to do, and I can do a kilo in, well, this is 1.3 kilos actually. So they have to be able to fit in, okay? So that was the other reason, whether you chop them, this is skinnier, and there's a book that comes with it which gives you guidance as to what way to put things in. So if I just pop some in there, okay, and you don't push hard, just slide it down, and then you just keep dropping them in. And I've got sweet potatoes, beautifully peeled.
And the only thing that stops you is that it's an 800 gram volume.
Yeah. And
So
I
if you're
couldn't.
doing 1.5, you go twice.
Yeah. And then I'll just put some out. Let's see. So potato bake for me, I never make it because it just drove me nuts how long it takes because I'm not that patient. And so now I peel, slice, and then whack them straight in so you can see that way. So you can see the beautiful slices in there. And the recipe for this says to steam the potatoes on top, and then last thing you put it all in the oven. So it doesn't need really that long because they'll cook in the oven. That's just to brown it up. So I'll just show you that now. Just tip them all out because I took all the very pretty ones out. You can see
Maybe
how
just
quick
pick
that
one
took.
up and hold it.
Yeah, sure. So thin and perfect. And then the sweet potato. Sweet potatoes are always wobbly anyway. So perfect. Great. All right. So the high heat's done. I will give Lisa a go in a minute.
We're both lucky because we have multiple bowls and Thermomixes.
Yeah, I'm
So as
using
a
three.
consultant, you're super lucky.
Yes, a good reason to become a consultant because when you sell 6 Thermomixes, you get a bowl. And for those of you who may be on here interested, or for those who might know someone that wants a Thermomix at the moment, you can earn your Thermomix with just 4 sales, which is quite amazing. So that's done its brown. Down the bottom is a little bit of brown, you might see. Okay, so then I'm going to move on. So if I go back into my recipe, bookmarked, if I go back into my recipe, this is a beautiful way of skipping around in a recipe. So I can see step 1 was the high heat. Step 2 is the pancetta, and I've done that. So that was three minutes. It's got pancetta and herbs pretty well and red wine. So that stage is done. So I'm going to add that in. And then the next stage, so I've done that stage, so I'm going to skip through and I go, oh, I don't want to go tap, 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 tap. So I go down and I'm at this one and it says to add the lamb. So it's shoulder of lamb. Now I thought, well, I couldn't get lamb, so I got a rolled, deboned leg rolled, and I thought it was super expensive. But then I worked out that this was just over $20 and this recipe cooks for 6 people. So even at $24, it's $4 a serve. And you can see that the rest of the dish is very, very minimal with potatoes and things like that. So it's actually a very economical dish. And big chunks, and then a teaspoon of stock. So this is chicken stock. So you can make all sorts of different stocks. And we'll talk about basics in another couple of in our next few onlines, we're going to do some basic stuff. And tomato passata. Okay. It's a bit frozen, but that's okay because you're not eating it. And I've got the sugar, pepper, and salt. That's all in there. And done that. And then you'd put the varoma, and then it tells you to cook it for 25 minutes and then stir it and then cook it for 45 minutes. And it's all on 98, 100 degrees, and it's all on speed soft. So I thought, why would you do that? You have to keep running backwards and forwards. So if you go to slow cook, I really should check where my modes are before I come. Slow cook. So it tells me here how much meat and etc. what I can and can't do with the slow cooker. And I'm going to set it to 98 and I'm going to set it for 1.5 hours. And all I do, same thing. So it's got the sizzle, all the different, the slicer one, the grater one, they're all different and it just acts by itself. And that's going to cook. I need to stir that properly before it'll go properly. And that would be it. So cooked. I'll talk a little bit about the finish of it at the very end. But right now I'm going to flick to Lise. Can I also suggest that if you change your view to the side-by-side speaker, that way your whole screen will be the Cookidoo and Lisa will be there as a little picture as well. It's going to be much easier than if you do gallery. For this one, I'm going to unpin us so that you will be able to see better. Over to you, Lisa.
Oh, all right. Oh, hang on. I am just going to share. Hang on. Let me just close that. Press share again. I had the wrong thing open. That's all right. There we go. All right. So Cookidoo. Cookidoo is, there's an app, the website, and the Thermomix itself. So I'm going to do the website today, but I'm going to talk about each of them. The app itself is fantastic for all your organizing. Unless, like Lisa, the other Lisa, you want to do it on your laptop so you get bigger pictures and stuff when you're doing all your meal planning and all that sort of thing. The website, the app.
Sorry, Lee.
Are we good?
Yeah, I was just going to say, if you guys want to grab your phone or iPad or whatever and look along with Lisa, if you're that type of person that needs to interact, then just give that a go if you want to. Just a little option for you.
Yeah, good idea. So website and the Thermomix. So the Thermomix itself has the least amount of functionality because you're not going to stand there and do all your meal planning up at the Thermomix screen itself. Now I have the website open. The website has the most of anything that you can do with it. So the website, your subscription, your planning, you can do your created recipes and also translating recipes. If you open Cookidoo in Chrome, and we'll talk about that later. So we've logged into our Cookidoo, we've registered, we're ready to go. So up the top right-hand side is usually a chef's hat. I've actually gotten all fancy. I'm going to go into my profile. I've actually put my picture in there. So I've put my picture and I've put my name so that when I am at this front screen and when the Thermomix turns on, it says, hello, Lisa. You could put anything you want. Hello, sunshine. Hello, sexy legs, whatever you like. I've just gone boring and my name. So profile. The first thing you want to do when you set up your Cookidoo is go to your profile. Now you can choose a cooking style. So I've got husband is a carnivore, but the child is a vegetarian. So I've chosen veggie cook. And what happens is Cookidoo itself will suggest recipes to me as I go along, whichever cooking style that you've chosen. Now, you can change it at any time and it will start changing to show you different options. Accessories, I've got all the accessories, so I've ticked them, but if you don't have them, you can deselect them. Just remember that when you get the accessory, to select it so that you can see recipes that include it. Now, the important one you want to do is update your filter preferences, because when you log into cookidoo.com.au, that's the Australian platform. So you're going to start off with 3,500 recipes, I think, that you have access to. But we want more. We always want more. So Cookidoo itself, over all of the languages, has about 100,000 recipes. What I've done here is I have chosen, you want to choose, if you've got a TM6, You can cook anything from any of the versions. You want to choose English as your language and deselect Australia and click Save. Now, if you're doing this option on your app, you need to then do that scroll out of the app and flick it away so that it closes the app completely. And then next time you come into the app, it will have all those choices. So, and I'll show you what it looks like, because now I'll have 12,000 recipes from all over the world. England, America, Iceland has a couple, Malaysia has a couple. So we're looking at all the English language recipes. Then the next thing you want to do is look at your account. Now, when you renew your subscription, you want to come to the website. You can't do it on the Thermomix, can't do it in the app. Got to be on the website. So click on account. We can see that my membership, I paid twice, so I've got January 2026. And you can see that I have 2 paired TM6s. Once you log into your Thermomix with your Cookidoo account, it will update it. You don't actually have to type in your serial numbers. So then basic membership, active, and annually. So have a look and check that. And then you pop a payment method in and it just automatically pays when it's due. So one of our host reward options is to get a Cookidoo subscription, either discounted or free. What happens if you get that host reward, you would then get a voucher. You pop the voucher in there and redeem, and that will give you your membership updated. Okay. Any questions so far? We good? Okay, so this is our front page. The app, the Thermomix, and the website all look the same. The front page is the same, and most of the things are the same. Obviously, the app looks a little bit different than the website, and the website has a few extras. But the front page is pretty much the same. So we've got what's new on Cookidoo, so you'll always have the new collections coming out. You'll see some of the recipes. Choose a side for your ragu. So these things change all the time. They give you lots of hints and tips of things. Prep ahead for busy weeks. Let the games begin. So if I click on that, it gives you some suggestions for recipes and some more recipes. 5 ways to experience summer sporting events, except for we're not in summer, but that's all right. And gold medalist celebrations, and of course cocktails. And so there's lots and lots of suggestions there for your Olympic watching. Then I'll just click back to the front page. Let me pop down, and there's a little less sugar, dinner today, lunch tomorrow. So there's lots and lots of suggestions. But then we're still on the front page. There's a video with the cutter. Then we also have a video showing how you can share your created recipes. I'll talk about created recipes in a minute. Then we have what the community's cooking. So it's a Thursday. So we have normal every night cooking meals come up at this end of the week. But you'll usually find that on a Monday, we're looking back at what everybody's cooked over the weekend. So there's lots of breakfast dishes and lots of cocktails on a Monday. So that's fun. And then you've got latest collections as well. So have a look down there and just every so often check and see what's going on. There's a video with Grace and Bianca, and then a video about the sensor, and a video about scaling recipes as well. So that's all on the front page. Then we've also got for you. So because I have chosen, these are suggestions that Cookidoo has come up for me. There's plant-based cooking suggestions, vegetarian recipes for me, everyday recipes. So even though I've chosen veggie, there's some meat ones as well, low-fat living and trending now, conscious cooking, and because I'm a veggie lover. So if you can't think of something to make, even just scroll through all these and see what jumps out at you. Then we've also got themes. So these three tabs are also in the app. So learn more about Cookidoo. So there's actually a whole stack of tutorials on Cookidoo there as well. So if anything I've said today is confusing or you want to do a bit more research, you've got that. Then you've got tips for creating your own recipes. So there's lots and lots of information just within Cookidoo of things that you can do. All right. Okay. So then let's hit search. I'm just going to automatically hit search. Now, if I had just Australia, so I'll go down to my filters and choose Australia. So you've only got 3,750 results. Let's take Australia away, and we've got English, we've got 12,000 results. If I take English away, we've got 99,000 results. So once we hit search, we've actually got two types of filters. On the right-hand side, you've got relevance, newest, name, total time shortest, and prep time shortest and best rated. So don't forget, when you do recipes and you love them, please rate them. Then on this side, on the left-hand side, we've got the other filters. Let me just scroll down and put English again. So when I've changed English, the countries that have English recipes, Australia, Austria, like I said, Iceland, Morocco, Norway. So there's lots of recipes in English from lots of places. So I am going to scroll back up. Now, you could type in, there's different ways of doing it. Let's type in chicken and hit search. Now we're down to 1,400 recipes. Then I'll go to filters and I'll go pasta, main dishes meat, and main dishes other. And then ingredients, let us put, so you can actually say what ingredients you want in the recipe. So let's put carrot. We're down to 237 recipes. Let's exclude peas because I'm 54 and you can't make me eat peas. Then we've got, so you can add though. So you can say, no salt, no this, no that. Then we have tags. So tags is everything. It's like hashtags on Instagram, is everything from entertaining, kids, gluten-free, dairy-free, keto, or, autumn, winter, spring that you can see there. Or, there's just all sorts of different tags that you can use. So let us choose winter. I am not going to bother with difficulty, or prep time, but I'm going to choose total time because I'm all about getting things done fast. So I'm going to click on total time. And then portion sizes, I know now that I can change portion sizes within Cookidoo. So I'm not going to bother with that. And I like what I like, so I'm not going to choose what kind of ratings or the version. All right. So let's see how many we've got. 33 results with carrot, chicken, meat, and less than 45 minutes and no peas. So 33 results, and that's what we have. Now, once you've decided what you want to cook, so I'm going to open up sticky sesame chicken. and show you the options. I will click cook today, and I'll add it to my shopping list. The other options that I have is to bookmark it, add it to a collection, my week, shopping list, or created recipes. So now when you go to recipes, oh no, I'll do that later. That's all right. I was about to bounce, not going to bounce. Lisa's laughing at me. So serving size, I'm going to try and change the serving size portion. So this one, actually, I can choose 2, 4, or 6. Now, when you choose that, you could then click cook today, and it will be there on your Thermomix as 6 portions. But there are other recipes that the portion sizes, let's see. No. So there are other ones. Because we've got 99,000 recipes, we've not actually, there's that one. That's the other, that'll be a different country. This one, they haven't done the portion sizes for you yet. So this says not the right serving for you. We're going to recalculate it, but you need to sort of check. So make it your own, your recipe, your responsibility, because they haven't got through all the recipes yet. Now, as you can see up the top here, it says calculate new serving size. So I can go 2, 3, 4 is the normal size, 5 or 6 is bigger. So let's click on 2. And if you can see on the left-hand side here, the actual ingredient sizes is in red because it's lowered. Then if I go to 6, the ingredient sizes are in green because we've gone up. So you just sort of double check. All right, so at 4, it's 800 grams of chicken. Yeah, 1,200. Now, when I save this one, this actually goes into my created recipes. So that's where you will find a portion changed one. So I'm going to save it, and we'll look at created recipes later. So I'm going to press done, but I'm going to go back to where we were. So is everybody cool with the 2 sides of filters? You can also look at different things. Like I could not put in chicken, hit search, and then filter down and write chicken here. So then I would choose which one, what sort of chickens I wanted. Then if you find yourself on the app, make sure that you've reset when you do a new search, because sometimes you'll be going, oh, there's no recipes. Just make sure you've reset for a new search. Okay, the other cool thing to see here is I am going to write tandoori. Now, these boxes here is, when I click on that, it will show me recipes that tandoori paste is in. So that's the ingredient. But here is the tandoori paste recipe. So if I click on that, it will show me the 13 recipes that tandoori paste is in. But if I type tandoori paste and click on this, it does actually give me the tandoori paste recipe itself, and then other paste recipes that it suggests as well. So that's also another way of looking at things. So try different combinations and see what comes up. Right. Okay. Now, when we're searching,
Lise, just a question about changing ounces to grams within the recipes, or America, of course. Yep.
Yes. So because we have America as one of our choices within English, so let me so the American recipes obviously are in ounces, and the ounces will actually come up on your Thermomix. The Thermomix itself will change grams to ounces. And so if it wants 0.5 of an ounce, you give the machine 0.5 of an ounce. You don't have to worry about having to convert anything, except for if you have to turn the oven on. And then Google is your friend.
Just a question though. So what I'm asking, because that was my question, Lisa.
Oh,
it's Ali
sorry.
here.
Yeah.
No, that's okay.
Yeah.
I just wondered because I wondered if there was a way where you can just convert, like, you know how we can convert a serving size. Is there a
Yes.
way? Because there are a couple of recipes that I've come up which I love, but I can't, but they don't have them in grams. They only have it in ounces. And so, like, if I'm shopping and I want to add something to my shopping list, it's going to come up in ounces.
Knowing how much, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, of course,
There
I
are
can
a
just go.
few, yeah. But for buying ingredients, I guess you'll have to work it out.
Yeah. I
But
just
there
wondered
are
if
a
you
lot
can
of
convert.
recipes that have no. You can have metric. So if I don't know why that's doing sprinkles, but anyway. Some of the American recipes are also Canadian. And so you'll
Yeah.
have the recipe and then you'll have the recipe in brackets metric.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're lucky to have that, then you're good to go. And then also sometimes with American recipes, you need to Google a replacement ingredient because obviously we don't have all of the same ingredients,
Yeah.
or they'll
Yeah.
call it something different.
Yeah, I have actually converted and just saved it to my own recipe just so that I've got it right there so I know exactly how much.
Yes.
But yeah,
You can
just wondered.
edit. You can edit any of the recipes in Cookidoo as well. And when you do that, it saves into created recipes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool,
So I've
thanks.
typed in honeycomb because I know that there are 4 honeycomb recipes. So how to work out which recipe is which from which country. I am going to click on the first one, scroll right to the bottom, and it's in the Australian Basic Cookbook. Then we go to the next one, and it is from the UK and Ireland. I don't know about everybody else. I usually end up doing the Australian recipes because I just like them. And they're usually the most starred as well, the highest starred ones. So this one is from the International Basic Cookbook and Canada. And then the 4th honeycomb, as you can see, it's in ounces. So that one is definitely from America. So that's one way you can just quickly check which of the 4 recipes that you want, because obviously each country will have some of the same recipes as well. Let's go back to explore. Now let's go to my recipe. Hang on, no, one more thing I want to talk about. So you can search recipes on the app. You can search recipes and collections. Every recipe is in a collection. So I know the UK has an orange collection. So it's a small, collections can be anything from a small collection. Let's click on collections. Now, when I click on collections, it actually filters for all of the countries. So I'm just going to click Australia. So there's 200 Australian collections. The Indonesian one, which is the latest one, has 10 recipes. But the diabetes cookbook, which is our most recent, it's an actual cookbook. So it's got 72 recipes. Some of the ones further back, when we had the TM5 and we actually had a book and a chip, you will actually see on the front of the collection is a circle with Thermomix in it. And that shows you the difference between a cookbook with 71 recipes And this one is just a little collection. Oh, with 23. That's pretty good. But every recipe is in a collection. But you could, if you were, and let us type in. So you could either type in slow cook for recipes or slow cook for collections. So there's 6 collections with slow cooking in Australia. But if I go to recipes and I've typed in slow cook for Australia, we've got 75. If I take Australia away, we've got 179. So it's just different ways of filtering out or looking for recipes. Now, the really cool thing with the website, can't do it on the app, we have articles. So I'm going to click on articles and I'm going to filter for Australia and the US and the UK. I'll just take the US away because they always cheat. So there's 36 articles, but if we get rid of slow cook, what articles are is like an explanation of things. It's basically an article about stuff. So fire up the grill. Let's open that up. So there'll be suggestions of, oh, wow, they've got cocktails first. I like their style. So grilling 101. So there'll be an explanation about stuff, spice up your sides. They've given you suggestions about sides and sauces. Now, let me also show you that if I scroll down a little bit, there's actually an article about every single mode. So if we look at sensor mode, it will have a video, works best for some compatible recipes, some tips, and then some of the articles have more. So secrets to success, there's even more of an explanation all about the sensor. And then baking temperature, so it talks about that, and some more recipes. So there's also articles on, there's one about pairing beer. Oh, here you go, beer pairing tips. There's a chocolate one, an ice cream one, mushrooms, all sorts of articles. So it's a really great resource. So here's one, the cutter, scaling recipes, channel your inner chef, warm-up mode, read more. So that talks more about what warm-up mode is about, some recipes, meal prep, and all that sort of stuff. Does that make sense? Mine's logged me out.
Has anyone got questions? All good?
All good? Why has it logged me out? Come along.
Sorry,
there.
Lise. Where were the articles? Where do you find them?
Okay, so when you hit search, let me just close that and open it again. So Cookidoo,
Yeah.
I'm back. When you hit search here,
Yeah.
you've got recipes and collections as your options there, and
Got
then
it.
articles is below. So in the app, you can only choose recipes and collections,
Yeah.
but in the website, you can choose articles.
Got it. Because that's where I was looking for it and I couldn't find it because I'm in the app rather.
Because you're in the app. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Now, once you've actually clicked on a recipe and decided to cook it, you can click cook today. Let's choose a couple of things, smooth peanut butter, add to my week. So I can actually pre-plan as far as ahead as I like. So say for there, stroganoff, add to my week over here. Or you can actually save it as a bookmark or add to a collection or add to created recipes. So I personally don't bookmark. I'll get Lisa to explain why she bookmarks. The bookmark is one folder that can hold up to 500 recipes. I get crazy, and I actually have, so I'll click on my recipes here. As you can see, I have 0 bookmarks, but I have, I'll go to created recipes. I have an absolute ton of created recipes, which I probably should go through and do something about. So, you know, I did it all in one. I saved everything. I had too much broccoli one day, so I've got a broccoli collection, all that sort of stuff. So Lisa, do you want to talk about why you save your bookmarks?
Yeah, so for me, what I like to do is I'll be scrolling through Cookidoo, so I just might be, you know, not working at my desk maybe, or you know, watching telly, and I'm scrolling through and I'm thinking, oh, what are some good chicken recipes or some breakfast recipes? So I'll go through and search, and then I will bookmark that recipe. The thing with the bookmarks is they fill up and you can kind of get a bit lost. What I love about them is for these, so for our inspirations, when I'm floating around doing stuff, I'll go, oh, there's a Mexican one, or there's a this one. And then I move them to the collection. And then the other thing I do is when I cook it, then I put it in one of my created collections. Or if I go through again, I delete. And quite often I get double ups from different countries because obviously I'm drawn to that particular recipe. So I kind of like it. The only thing I've found sometimes is if you are looking through and then you click on the recipe and then you go back, you might have to re-scroll down to get to the next recipes. But yeah, I love it for that respect, just because it's quick and easy and I can think, oh, what have I found? The other thing it does too is it only saves in the order that you save them. And you can't go in and say, what are all the, you know, lamb recipes or whatever. But it's not hard to scroll through. And I find if I do the scrolling on the website, that's pretty easy. So that's me. Oh, and John, sorry, and my husband's just waving. John loves the collections because he's got his own collection. So if he's cooking, he goes, where will I, you know, where's my mushroom risotto? Instead of having to search, he's got JB's dinners. And so he can go in. So a really good one for your kids, partners, those sorts of things as well, for the saving into the collections.
Yes, we definitely, in our household, we gave everybody a collection to help me. You know, they can look up and see what kind of recipes they'd like to make. So we've talked about created recipes. This is my created recipes file. So I've actually got, so it's recipes from the recipe community. So if you've had a TM31 or possibly a TM5, you can actually move. So this is the recipecommunity.com.au. Before we had the ability to have our recipes on a screen, we actually had a lot of our recipes here. So they're recipes from customers, consultants, chefs, Thermomix themselves. And let us type in, I'm going to type in lemon cake. And there's 138 recipe results for lemon cake. I'm going to choose one. And over here on the right, I can just press add to Cookidoo. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to confirm. And it's going to think about it. And there it is. And I'm going to click done. And there it is in my created recipes. Now, when it moves over, some of the time it will move over all the, let's open that up again, because now I can actually edit it as well. So it's moved over and most of the instructions are there. But, oh, there it is. There's my little edit button. And it says up the top, we've detected some ingredients, so verify with the original setting. So the beauty of created recipes is you can go in and edit the recipes as well. So I'm going to press enter. So preheat oven is one step, grease and flour a bundt cake, place sugar. I am going to click enter because it has chosen the sugar, and you can see it's 170 grams of sugar. There it is there, but it didn't. See how it's not highlighted flour. So I'm going to edit this. So I would break it down into the steps, because when it comes onto the screen of the Thermomix, it will actually bring up the all the dials and the scales as well when they're needed. So it actually hasn't identified the flour. So down here, I can click on ingredients and click on the flour. And now it's selected. I just then have to delete the word flour. And when it comes up, it'll bring the scales up. When we go down here, so the 10-second speed 10, where that happens is our cook settings, our edit settings, temperature off, speed 10 for 10 seconds, but you can change that to 5 and change your speeds. And you can also put, there's reverse there as well, somewhere. I can't see it, but it's there. I've got too many things in front of my screen.
Yeah, down the bottom, under 10.
Under 10, yep. So click that, and that changes it. So I'm just going to click confirm, because I've shown you how you can move from the recipe community to Cookidoo, and then you can then cook it on the screen. So here's my sticky sesame chicken that I saved earlier from the manual thing, and it says 6 portions there. So each changed it to 6 portions, and it's now sitting in my created recipes. Now, I've actually, when I meal plan, I've actually made up little canvas. One says leftovers, one says Jessica's choice. So you can do that yourself as well, and pop them in. Let's pop leftovers in during the week. Add to my week. Let's pop that there and hit save. Now, this creamy tomato and bacon fettuccine is actually creamy tomato and salami fettuccine in Cookidoo. I've saved it to create it, and I actually use Philadelphia cream instead of normal cream, tomato, bacon instead of salami, and I actually do the steps slightly differently. I've been making this recipe since my TM31 days in 2014, so I've changed the recipe to suit me. The recipe itself is still in Cookidoo as is.